Alright guys, it's your boy out here. This is a very different podcast, as you could probably tell by the cold intro, or cold open, no intro. I felt very compelled to make this podcast today, very motivated to do it. I would classify it as an emergency. This world is in complete chaos, guys. Humanity is failing us. It's not good. And the reason it's not good is because we're not good, okay? I would attribute all of the problems in the world to a lack of love. Love is by far the single most powerful thing in this universe. And if you disagree with me, think about it a little harder. People do crazy things out of anger, but they'll do even crazier things out of love. I would never kill a man because I was mad at him, but I would kill a man if he threatened the things that I love, the people I love. Lack of love does so much damage, it is ridiculous. I don't believe in sociopaths. I don't believe in people with no pity, no remorse, no souls. I don't believe in that. I believe there are people that never received enough love, or at least not a good enough example of it. Last podcast, I touched on transgender issues, and a lot of people deleted me on Facebook, and at first, I had my opinions. It was just toughen up, sorry, the truth hurts, but I really did some thinking over today. And words can be weapons. They're not always weapons, but they can be weapons. And when a word is a weapon's only use is to harm others. We can't be doing that, people. You hurt someone, you hurt the world. It's not good. It's not good. The world's not good. Look at our country, guys. Look at America. The greatest country in the world, in my opinion. Half of it's on fire. The other half is underwater. Things are not going good. They're just not. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lack of love. I'm not trying to sound like some bleeding heart, hippy-dippy guy, It's like, I get it. It doesn't sound good. Sorry the music cut off. I thought it was going to be some epic music, and shit, it went south. So I try to spread love everywhere I go, guys, because it's the most effective thing I can do as an individual to better the world. Some people might disagree, and to that I say, respectfully, I disagree, and I love you. Everywhere I go, I tell women they're beautiful. Complete strangers. I say, hey, you're beautiful, or in case someone hasn't told you today, you are beautiful. And I'm not trying to get in their pants when I say this. Most of these women I will never see again in my life. I just want to make them smile. I want to make their day, because I know that makes your days, lady. And if I make your day, maybe you'll go to bed happy, and then you'll wake up happy, and you can make a good week, string that into a good month, into a good year. Now you're on a roll. It all has to start somewhere. I'm not saying I'm changing people's lives, telling them they're beautiful. I'm saying that you can change someone's life with a couple words. You can save someone's life with a couple of words. And trust me, I know it. I know it. And I mean literally, if you say, hey, look out, and somebody ducks and they missed a fatal blow to the head because you said, hey, look out, you saved their life with words. And just in the same way, you can end someone's life with words. Or a lack of words. You can and not even intentionally. You never know what somebody's going through, guys. You don't know how close someone is to just jumping off the edge, how stressful their life is. So, like, especially when you feel like someone's reaching out to you, don't ever deny them, you know? Like, I just heard a beautiful story about a man whose son was in college and he got straight A's and he was so proud of himself. And he called his father, who was a successful businessman, and said, "Dad, look at my grades, read off all his percentages, straight A's. Are you proud of me, Dad?" And his dad said, "Son, I'm sorry, but I'm super busy. I have to go." And that caused that kid, he thought to himself, if all my hard work doesn't impress the one person I care about the most in the world, why should I care? And that college kid started drinking heavy, started experimenting with drugs. Within the year, he was dead at a hospital. If his dad just, right before he said, "I'm busy," would have said, "Yeah, son, I'm proud of you," that guy might still be alive. You know? Words are powerful. I'm not trying to get religious on you guys, but in the Bible it says the spoken word is stronger than the strongest man. Like, so I'll use myself as an example, because that's the examples I know the best. I hope a lot of my Indiana friends are listening to this, and I don't want anybody to feel guilty. I just want them to act different in the future, because I love all of you. I know sometimes I say mean things, and I'm sorry the podcast isn't as positive as it is right now all the time. I'm going to try to work on that. I really am. So yeah, right before I left Indiana, I was very depressed. And I was depressed because I was a heroin addict, and that's depressing, right? And you guys, a lot of you, stopped talking to me, stopped hanging out with me altogether because it was depressing, and you didn't want to be depressed by my depressing life. But think about how much more depressed I was by it than you. Think about how in those low, low times I needed a friend more than ever. Think about how, and there's a few of you that come to mind that, really did, like, see me hurting and hit me up immediately. And I love you guys. I love all of you, but some of you guys I admire more than others, because I sense the love in you for me, and that's priceless. I've never been suicidal. I've never made a suicide attempt, but there was a solid 3 to 6 months of my life where not only was I a heroin addict, but I was shooting up speedballs every day. I wasn't trying to kill myself, but I knew every time I pushed down on that plunger, that syringe, that it was effectively playing Russian roulette. Never knew when it was going to be, oh, it was a little better this time than last time, and I'm dead. And I wasn't trying to kill myself. I didn't want to die, but I didn't care if I did. That's how low I was, guys. And so, when you don't return a text message, I don't always want people to know how bad I'm hurting. I'm a man. So, somebody says, "Hey, what's up?" At least just say, "Not much, how about you?" Don't just be like, "I don't want to talk to this guy," And I'm so grateful that I'm not like that anymore, I'm not addicted to drugs. I'm not on the verge of death every day, but just people can help you so much, and they just choose not to sometimes. And that is a lack of love, a lack of compassion, And some people say, "I loved you so much that I didn't want to see you like that." Well, did you make an effort for me to not be like that? Like, I'm doing these drugs because I'm unhappy with my life. I should be using past tense verbs. I'm not doing drugs now. But and I was unhappy with a lot of things in life. So if you would have taken time out of your day to make me happy with just your presence, just shooting the shit, telling jokes, like, if I was dead right now, one of those actions could have saved my life. There's a friend I had, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm going to shoot him a text after this podcast and let him know that he saved my life. He saved my life. I almost want to give him a shout out because, like, he deserves it, but I haven't asked for permission, and I don't like saying people's names on here. But this guy was in the same boat I was in, just completely out of control, reckless drug addict. And me and him were hanging out one day, doing what we do best, shooting up speedballs. And he says, dude, we need to go to rehab. And I said, yeah, that's undeniable. Look at us. And then within the week, both of us were in rehab. And we got out, and we didn't stay clean after that. It's really hard. But he kept me afloat afterwards. He gave me chances, and sometimes I fucked up those chances hard. I ended up owing this dude a lot of money sometimes, but he never gave up on me as a person, He was always there to help me. And we didn't even really know each other that well when all this was going on, So it's like just sharing feelings and caring about people, it can produce such dramatic results. If that guy didn't show me some love, I would for sure be dead. I'll give you some other examples. When I was in Colorado, the girl Megan from the Summit County Saga, the one I said was a psychic, she is a psychic. But one day we were just sitting there and we were talking. Actually, it was mostly her talking. And I was just listening because I could tell she had so much to get off of her chest. She had been through so much, and she just needed someone to hear her pain. And at one point I was like, sorry if you think I'm like being weird and quiet. She's like, no, you're doing exactly what I need. I need someone to listen. And when she was done talking, I said, Megan, I really want to give you a hug right now. And it wasn't just completely out of wanting to help her, which I did want to, and that's the best way I could think I could do it. But also, I needed a hug, It had been a while. I'd been away from my family, away from my friends, and then all my Colorado friends had pretty much turned their backs on me because I got fired, and they didn't take the time to listen to me and understand why I did the things I did. So I gave her a hug, and that was one of the most powerful hugs I've ever felt in my life, and I think her too. I hugged her. Our hearts were just 2 rib cages apart from each other, and that love was undeniable. And when I let go of her, she was almost crying. All I didn't say anything. I just wrapped my arms around her and projected my love into her. And she almost cried. And she said, I really needed a hug. And if I didn't take the time to listen to that woman, I wouldn't have known that. And, she had a better day because of that hug. I know it. Another example, I had an ex-girlfriend she was not affectionate at all. She just simply doesn't know what love... She has her interpretation of love, but it is very askew from what love really is. And that's because her parents never showed her true love. They were always too busy for her, and they tried to solve all of her problems with, instead of love, pushing her off on a doctor, getting her on pills, all this nonsense. And like I said, she's not very affectionate. She never really liked to cuddle too much. I always was trying to cuddle, and she's always like, back off, But one day, I wanted to cuddle, I needed a cuddle. And so I cuddled her, and she didn't say anything. she embraced it. She kind of cuddled back as much as you can from the small spoon position. And after I separated, she thanked me. She said, I really needed a cuddle today. And I would have never known. Never would I have known, because she doesn't like to talk about her emotions. And so, yeah, these are just examples of how a little bit of love goes a long ways, guys. Always show love. Always. Everywhere. Show love. Look at this world. Look at this world. There's probably a war on every continent right now. If you look at the doomsday clock, which is like a figurative clock that the scientific community, an international scientific community from around the world, come together. Right now that clock is at 2.5 minutes till midnight. And once it reaches midnight, that's when they predict that through our own creations, our own pretty much nuclear bombs, which you can't bomb someone that you love. We're going to destroy ourselves. It hasn't been this close to midnight since World War II. So I feel like time is of the essence, and you guys just show love. Don't ever feel insecure. Because some people feel weird about giving compliments, and it's like, you shouldn't feel like that, because a lot of that is due to a lack of love in their life. They're like, nobody ever told me stuff like that. I would feel really weird telling somebody else that. You can't feel like that. Don't ever feel like that. That's not how you help people. It's not. To quote Eminem, don't ever let him say you ain't beautiful. We are all so unique. We're all, so everybody is so beautiful in their own way. They really are. It's like, we're like art, you gotta stare at that painting for a while, and everybody that looks at it's gonna get a different message from it. And that is beautiful. And it's hard not to love things when you see their beauty. So, just before you judge anybody for anything, try to think about it as much as you can from their position. Please. I'm going to read a couple quotes now, because they are very on topic of what I'm talking about, and undeniably true. Well, one of them is undeniably true, the other one I guess is sort of an opinion, but this first one is by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who I'm sure some of you out there might have something negative to say about that man, and that's kind of fucked up, because he's a martyr. He died trying to get love spread. Here is the quote. Darkness cannot be driven out by darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And that just moves me, man, because it's like, that's how we use the caveman part of our brain when that hate kicks in, and if somebody hates you, you're like, oh yeah, well fuck you too. No. It's, I'm sorry you feel that way. I hope you change. I love you. That's how you get results. Right there. Love. And the next one's a quote by Gandhi. It says, in doing something, do it with love, or never do it at all. And it kind of reminds me of like a Bambi. I think it was Thumper the rabbit. His or her, I don't know if that's a boy or girl. Their mom said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. Just bite your tongue. Don't spread your hate around. All you're going to do is hurt the world. The target goes beyond the individual. You hate someone, you project hate into them, they carry that around. They'll go home and they'll give their family slightly less love than they would have normally, And maybe that kid is needing some love, but his dad got in an argument with somebody because they were both being hateful at work, so he tells his kid to shut up because he's trying to watch TV or something, you know? It's like that is how quote unquote sociopaths are made, you know? It's just not right. We all need love. There's nobody that doesn't, you know? Nobody. I don't care who you are. You be fucking Clint Eastwood, fucking Dirty Harry. That dude needs a hug, straight up, you know? Like, fuck. We all need love. And so I'm about to wrap this podcast up. I wanted it to be short enough to where you can listen to the whole thing. So I love all of you. Truly. Even if you're listening to this, I don't know who you are. I have no reason to hate you. And if you're a person, I know your plight as a human, just out of biology, you know? And I love you. So I'm going to leave you with this quote. It's not a quote, it's my beliefs. It's that God is love, and we are all one. It says very simply in the Bible twice that God is love. Those 3 words right in a row. So yeah, I love you guys. I'm sorry the podcast isn't always the most positive, but sometimes I try to make it funny, and it's funny when I get angry. So, but that's putting negativity out there, so I'm going to try to work on it, you know? And I know I curse a lot, and I say fuck you to my listeners a lot, like talking to them directly, and that's not nice. I'm not making the world a better place. So this is just as much on my shoulders as it is yours. So yeah, tell people good things. Tell them you love them. Tell them they're beautiful. And you can literally save the world one person at a time. Smiles are contagious. Love is contagious. Good vibes are contagious. You make someone's day, everyone that crosses their path, a little bit better off than they were before they did. So yeah, God is love. We are all one in humanity. We all share this globe. I love you. Thanks for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful day.